All right, guys, so this one has been one that I was really excited to see because they added some new elements to the movie that weren't in the original. This is a remake of a classic zombie movie. I think you know where I'm going with this. That just got put out on 4K, and I'm going to talk to you about it. Let's get into it. What's up, guys, and welcome back to Beyond the Void. My name is Alex, and today we're going to be doing a sort of unboxing and review of the movie Night of the Living Dead on 4K, the 35th anniversary from Sony, that is on a steelbook case that sold out like that. And I'm so sorry. I totally understand. I've been having some extreme envy of seeing people unbox their Freddy Krueger Nightmare on Elm Street box set that I really desperately wanted, as that's one of my favorite slasher franchises ever, and I was unable to get it. So I got the other one though. Now I do want to be honest with you, there are some good and one or two bad things that I found with this release that we're going to talk about. So you're going to want to stick around to the end if you're thinking about getting a copy of this for like super expensive or not. It may change your opinion, so make sure you watch to the end. This one, however, was very hard to get, and I was fortunate enough to get a copy. I'm sure there's a few lingering out there somewhere. I even saw somebody holding it in a store, but I would be pretty impressed to see if there's anything out there, and I'm sure a lot of you other guys who are doing these videos have done them already, but I'm gonna do mine. So I wanted to share it with you guys because I really enjoy this movie. It is one of those movies I think a lot of people didn't really love at first, you know, but we saw it on cable TV so many freaking times growing up. And I can't remember if it was on Cinemax or HBO. Cinemax was like the place to go for horror back in the like early 90s. It was like, you know, everything that would be put out on the store shelves would be put on Cinemax, and sometimes even early before it would even hit the store shelves for you to rent. So, you know, like I saw Dead Alive, I think, on either HBO or Cinemax, one of the two, before it was ever released in the country. But this one was, you know, one that grew on me, you know, because it was very similar to the first one, although they did do some changes to some of the characters, and they even did a really different intro for this movie on this version, the uncensored version by Tom Savini, who did the makeup effects for a lot of George Romero's movies. So he is being able to direct his Night of the Living Dead version from 1990. And, you know, I honestly liked it even without the gore. Still very atmospheric. The changes that they did make with the main character was amazing. She is like one of the best final girls I've ever seen. Like, honestly, I think she's kick-ass. She does a fantastic job in this movie, and the way they started and ended it was just so cool. So there was a couple of things that they changed a little bit of, but the makeup effects were really good, and holy shit, it was this really great to see in 4K. It is one of the movies that in the uncensored version, not only do they have some more gore, but Tom Savini changed the intro of the film to go from black and white to when her brother gets killed into color, or when he gets attacked. And it's really nice. Like, seeing it in black and white for the first time really shows how much time and effort Tom Savini put into making it exactly like the original. And this was during a time when doing that kind of effort meant a lot to the original movie, because it was, you know, that's how you did remakes back then. So they didn't do these reboots back that time. I thought he did a fantastic job, and I really think some of the additions on this are pretty good. There is some gripes I do have with this release that I think I have not heard anybody talking about, at least on this, and I'll get to those in a little bit. It is something to do with the disc, or how they formatted it, or something, but I'll get into that here in a little bit. I just kind of want to fill in a little bit on this. Now, some of the extra bits in this are a lot of scenes where, like, one of the zombies that, you know, the infamous zombie that comes in and, like, is like, ugh, and he shoots it in the head when she gets mad. She's like, is it dead? Is it dead? And she shoots it like 3 times. That scene is much more graphic because they show it. There's also the farmer, the next door farmer who drops on the floor and they shoot him in the back of the head. That's much more graphic. The blood is more black and coagulated and then red. And then there's another scene where they're getting on the back of the truck and driving away that they shoot somebody with a shotgun that just obliterates them. And holy crap, that was a nice addition. Although you can kind of tell that it was just standing still a little bit because you wanted to get all the best parts, but it just kind of, but I still enjoyed all the extras. Now, to give you kind of an idea, here's the case. I have some B-reel here that I can show you just to kind of give you an idea. On the inside, we don't really have much other than a, card for the digital. The digital is only for the regular version, not the uncensored, by the way. This is the 4K disc here, and then the Blu-ray. Both discs have the uncensored version on it. Now, there is some extras on here. In the 4K, you get just the 2 films plus the commentary, which the commentary is for the uncensored version with director Tom Savini, and it's moderated by Michael Felsher, who they have a really good back and forth about the history of this. The Blu-ray disc has a lot of the extras, which I did not get to watch a lot of, and I'm so far behind, I just said, screw it, I'm just going to do this video anyway. So I still need to watch them, but I'll tell you about what they are. They have the commentary, like I just mentioned, that was on the other one. They have archival commentary with director Tom Savini, the Dead Walk making of featurette, Savini's Night with director Tom Savini, Being Barbara with actress Patricia Tallman. My God, I had the biggest crush on that lady for this movie. I don't know what it was, man, but when I was younger, I just really thought she was amazing. We also have Oh Brother with actor Bill Moseley, because Bill Moseley played the brother of the main woman. And Return of the Living Dead with special effects makeup supervisors John Welch and Everett Burrell. We also have Time with Tom with actor William Butler, who went on to do a lot of other stuff, which is really cool. We got Flesh and Blood with actors McKee Anderson and Heather Mazer. In Living Dead Color and producers John A. Romero and Russell Streiner. We got Cutting the Dead with editor Tom Dubensky, and The Dead Speak with zombie performers Greg Funk and Dirk Ashton, plus a theatrical trailer. So it's pretty packed there. I'll let you see this on the back. You want to pause it, obviously in HDR. Now, I'm going to be honest with you here. It did change and it did get better, so I don't want people to worry. But there are reports of some people having issues with their disc, which scared the shit out of me because I was like, man, this is so limited. All I'm ever going to do is get my money back. And it's a crazy story, but I popped the 4K disc in. Somewhere at around the 25 to 26 minute mark, there was a part where there was like him sitting by the fire talking about an incident. And then he picks up the phone and he's like, the world sure does fall apart very quickly. They go upstairs to go get weapons. And there was like a lot of digital dropout. The audio started glitching and artifacts on the screen and digital dropout. And it was really bad at first. So bad, in fact, that the sound didn't even come back on my player. And I have a, Panasonic 4K 820, which is like the big one that everybody loves. And I also have an Xbox Series X, which I put it in, and they were both at the same spot having that issue. Now, the crazy thing that I didn't understand, and it's weird because immediately I wrote Diabolic DVD to let them know that, hey, I think this is a bad disc or something. I wanted to reach out to you first to see what. And he was like, well, we don't have any extra copies. But I didn't have any problem with mine. And I said, well, I did find somebody else online who did pop it in their PS5, and it just froze entirely at that section that I was talking about, the 25 to 26, 27 minute mark. And it was just freezing up and locking up. After I wrote that email, I all of a sudden started to notice, like, I watched the movie after the little spot that it had problems with, because it did fix itself a little bit afterwards. For 2 minutes, it was just messed up. And so I watched the rest of the movie. And then when it was done, I went back and was like, hey, let's watch some of the commentary with Tom Savini and see what it was all about. And as I did, it went over that spot again, only there was some digital dropout and some funky stuff going on there, but it was gone. And I was like, what the? So I tried out every single audio track to see if they would actually have any problems with that. And yeah, there was no problems anymore suddenly. And I was like, okay, this doesn't make any sense. I even got an email back in the morning from one of the Diabolic guys, and they were like, so did you get this correct? And I said, yeah. And I said, funny thing is, though, it's not having the problem anymore. So I put it in my Xbox Series X to see if I'm going crazy here, right? Because this would be a disc problem if it's in both of them. It actually had the problem on the Series X. And so for some reason, it's the way it was reading the information, either it was like too high a bit rate and like the players were having struggle with it or something. I'm not sure. I'm no expert at that. So I just reported to Diabolic. I said, I'm fine. As long as it plays on my Panasonic, I'm good. So there may be a couple out there that have had issues with it, and hopefully you're not one of them. But it did seem to fix itself after watching it a couple of times. And yeah, I haven't had the issue with it since. So I don't really understand what the issue is. I don't know, maybe there was some dust on it. You know, the one thing I did think about, and it could be, is that these kind of cases, they're not exactly the best when it comes to pulling the disc out, because they're kind of deep bucketed. So they have some room behind here. And it's very easy to touch the back of the disc and like smudge it a little bit. So you may want to check your disc before you put it in and, you know, make sure you clean it, but do it the right way. But yeah, look, I'm having issues just trying to get this damn thing out. But even still, there's some smudges on the back that I've already given to it. So just a heads up. I'm actually pretty happy with this. I was a little hesitant, a little nervous because that happened. And, you know, with so little of these going out, I'm really surprised. Maybe they only got the license for some amount, but maybe they're going to re-up it and put a standard edition out that's just not in this case, and it'll have everything, maybe just the 4K, and it'll be even cheaper than this was, because I think I paid like $50 with shipping on this one, you know. And, you know, with these sort of metal steelbook cases, you know, they do run a little bit more because they're more, you know, collectible. Honestly, I prefer not to get, you know, steel cases if I can, but I really do want those Freddy ones. But it's too late now. So this is really pretty cool. I think it's one of the better releases this day. If it wasn't for that little glitch that I experienced and them not getting enough copies out, hopefully they sold out of these so quick that they're like, we gotta put another one out. So let me know if you got one of these. I wanted to share that with you. I'm not going to do a lot of editing on this video, so if it seemed a little rough around the edges, that's why, because I'm trying to do 4 videos right now and I don't have time. But I love you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. Let me know what you think about this movie, if you had any issues, etc. I would love to hear from you in the comment section down below. If this is your first time here, we do all kinds of physical media, new movies coming out on digital, and even lists and stuff here. So you're in the right spot if you like indie films and you like someone who likes to dig deep for horror. Thanks for coming by, and as always, long live the void.